Hi, hello, it's the Moon Griffon. Great to have you back with the Moon Griffon podcast. We appreciate you joining us. Make sure you tell a friend about us as we rock and roll and let people know about the Moon Griffon podcast. Talk a lot about national issues and things that I think you're concerned about. Now, this is a tough issue to deal with a lot of people. And I'm gonna handle it straightforward because I see where this is going, and I got a feeling it's not going to stop. And I can't believe we're sitting back and allowing our kids and to be taught, and they're learning something that's not right, whether you think it's right or not. If you think it's right, you just disagree with me. I have an opinion. This is America. Okay? You're not going to have the same opinion I got. Some people will, some won't. Here's the good news. I'm not going to stop you from having your opinion. I'm not going to stop you from believing what you believe. Do me a favor. Don't come to me and get mad at me and believe I got to believe like you do, because I know you're not going to believe like I do. But I wanted to bring up a subject. You know, all this transgender stuff that's being shoved down our throat, and more importantly, our kids, is absolutely driving me crazy now. And it is. You know, now let me tell you something. If you look at it from two perspectives, if I look at it from a biblical perspective, a godly perspective, a Christian perspective, then God made two genders, male and female. You can argue with me all you want to. You can fight me all you want to, okay? That's fine. That's your business. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe in Jesus Christ. You don't have to believe in follower of Christ. You have that right. I didn't say you didn't. But I have a right to believe that too. God made two genders. It's all biblical. I got God behind me on this one. As male and female. That's it. Okay? You don't have to believe that, but it's what I believe. I have a right to voice my opinion. You have a right to disagree with what I'm saying. Number two, science. Remember we went through all the COVID and the mask and what the science tells us, and they lied about a lot of that too. Okay? Science, biology. What I just said about what God believes, if you want to put God to the side a second, for you people that don't believe, then go look at biology and the science of it. And the science says male and female is it when it comes to a human being. Now, you can argue with me, but you can't argue with God, and you can't argue with the science. It's just a fact. Men will never be able to get pregnant. Men can't have babies. They can't. And so I get frustrated because the narrative has to be where you let everybody be what they want to be. I am. If you want to be, you're a woman and you want to be a man and man be a woman, you have the choice. What you don't have a right to do is go to the schools and the libraries and stuff like that and go through K through 12 and start teaching stuff that you ought to not be teaching. You can do it at your house. You can do it somewhere else. But I'll be honest with you, the schools, which are involved in this, which is very frustrating to me, they shouldn't be involved in any of this. That's for the parents to take up. What's wrong with that? If I grew up in a home. I grew up as a Christian guy. My parents never downed anybody. They didn't care which color you were, what sex you were. They never did that. We were not taught. Most people are not taught that. I didn't say some people are not, but most people are not taught that. It's kind of sick that you can't believe the way you believe without somebody coming down on you, you know? And this is coming from the left. And I think it's totally to confuse and destroy the culture that was built here. I told y'all, we went from a Christian culture to a post-Christian culture. Now we see what anti-Christian is because they're going to blame me and the church and people that do that. I am telling you right now that that's not what I'm talking about. I have a right to stand up, and I think everybody in the churches ought to start standing up over all this craziness that's going on. You know, everything we were taught is flipped now. You okay? You know the birth of a baby. Look, my son just had 2 grandbabies. 2 beautiful little boys, twins. It was kind of cool. Think about that. We knew they were twins. 10 weeks into them being in mommy's womb, we knew they were going to be boys. How do we know that? Because of science. Science tells us what they were going to be. And guess what? They didn't miss. They didn't miss. And so what I'm telling you is boys are girls and girls are boys. And that's just a fact. And people get mad at it. The left gets mad at it. We're trying to teach all these kids K through 6th grade. They're trying to teach these kids things they ought to not be teaching kids. We ought to not allow it in public school systems anymore. We shouldn't. Why are we talking about sex with a kindergarten, pre-K through sixth grade? None of those kids at that age would know nothing about sex if their parents were watching them. There's no way they wouldn't care. You just want to go play. I had kids. I know what they did at that age. They did the same thing I did. Play, 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 play. That's who they are. They just want to go and go and go. They don't care about this stuff. Why do these people that are being evil to teach our kids this stuff when they're young when they shouldn't be doing that? And it's frustrating to me to continue to watch this, but more frustrating is we're not fighting back. We don't have to put up with this, okay? If somebody personally wants their kids to go from a boy, a girl, and a boy, and they want to do that, then go do it. But they shouldn't be teaching people that this is the right thing, because if I bring the Bible up, well, here comes a religious fanatic, okay? If I bring science up, then they say, well, no, that science is faulty, and it's not faulty. I tell you, I have God and science behind me. Let me give you another example, okay? And I'm starting to watch this a lot, especially in college sports. Girls, women college sports, okay? There have been a few incidents where, like in swimming, maybe gymnastics or something, they've allowed guys to say, I'm girls, and compete. Now, some of the women that are competing against these guys are very frustrated because they're not winning. And for the most part, a guy who claims to be a girl, okay, and I'm not being ugly, I'm telling you what's going on. A guy who claims to be a girl, men are different than women. We built different. Thank God. I'm glad about that. But then we built different, okay? And it doesn't mean a man is smarter or better. He's just built stronger for the most part than a woman, okay? Now, so what's happening is these young ladies are starting to be frustrated by allowing man to say they're a woman and compete in sports, by allowing a man to say I'm a woman and go in the locker room. Now, folks, we got to, if we're not going to protect young women, all they fought for all these years in the United States of America, Title IX, to get equal everything, then what are we fighting for? So we got all these young women now that's starting to come through, but they get pressured not to say anything. They get pressured from the universities not to say anything. You know what I think's a shame? That all these coaches all over the country don't all come together and put a stop to this right now. They can put a stop to this right now. All you got to have is every woman's college coach and high school coach come together and say, we're not doing this. We're not doing it because we're going to protect our young ladies. We're not doing it because we're going to protect the young girls. We're going to protect them on the courts and on the fields and in the bathroom, for God's sakes. And this is a tough issue. It's not a tough issue if America would wake up and quit all the crazy. Remember, I said at the beginning of the deal, you can go be anything you want to be. That's fine if that's what you want to be, but you can't come playing girls' sports. Now, let me give you an example, the difference between men and women. Right now, today, LSU's boys basketball team, I'm going to take LSU. They're 12 and 13 and 15. They're not really that good. They've been getting whooped every game, okay? They lost 14 in a row. They're not that good. But on the other side, the girls' basketball team, coached by Kim Mulkey, who I got a lot of respect for. I watched Kim play when she was at Tech. I was at a university, ULM, Northeast Louisiana University, right up the road. I watched the coach. I've been very impressed. She works her fanny off. She's the real deal. She's a winner. She's coaching at LSU. I think they're 26, 27, and 1. They lost one game and they lost to the top team in the country. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if the boys, who are one of the worst teams in the SEC, plays Kim Mulkey's girls, who's in the top 5, I think, right now, the boys would beat them by 100 points. They would absolutely drill them and beat them to death. That's not a cut on the girls. The fact of the matter is the girls have a great team playing girls basketball, women's basketball. That's who they compete with. That's one of the twins in tennis. I forget their names. Venus. Okay. And they asked her one time about playing against the boys in tennis. He said, I wouldn't want to play them. It'd be 6-love. I couldn't compete. I wouldn't even hit the ball back. It'd be so fast. It's a faster game. I just want to play against women. Folks, why? Let's take Kim Mulkey. Big name. Love her to death. I like to meet her. Why is it the Kim Mulkeys around college sports not all coming forward and said, we're not doing this. Girls were playing the girls' sports. Boys were playing the boys' sports. If a boy decide to transfer to a girl, he can play in the boys' sports because that's his biology. What's biology? That's the science of who you are when you're born. Folks, I'm not wrong on this. I'm just telling you right now, I have freedom of speech. This is not hate speech. This is strictly saying that if we don't stand up and stop this craziness, somebody's going to get hurt. You watch. If they don't stop this, there's going to be a boy that wants to play softball. You ever seen fast-pitch girls softball at the college level? Awesome. It's an awesome game. I love to watch it. Those girls can really pitch and they can play and they can hit. They're 46 feet away. What if a 6'3" guy decides he's a girl, he's big old bowled up 230 pounds, and he can really pitch it and throws it twice as fast as the girls? Somebody's going to get hit in the face. Somebody's going to get hurt. How about that 6'3" guy standing up at the plate getting ready to hits a line shot back to that girl 46 feet away? This has to stop before somebody gets hurt and gets hurt bad. If you choose to be a boy or girl, that's your choice. But we can't go around America telling people you have to think this way. There will never be a man get pregnant. I saw in some places they putting tampon machines in the boys' locker room. There's no reason for that. Well, now this is what they're going to do one day. Somebody is going to be a trans one day, from a woman to a man. They're going to keep all their same plumbing. Now I'm a man. I'm recognized as a man, but yet I'm still a woman inside. I got all the woman parts. They're going to get pregnant. They're going to go have a baby. And somebody's going to say, see, a man can have a baby. No, folks, it doesn't work that way. A man can never have a baby. A man can never get pregnant. They got a lot of these experts and so-called politicians and bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. are trying to tell us that. Let me ask y'all a question. You ever heard of women in the military now? It used to not be so much, but it is now. You ever heard of women getting pregnant that were in the military? Of course you have. They're in the military and they got pregnant. You ever heard of a man getting pregnant in the military and having to sit out? I saw the other day where somebody was sitting out the WNBA basketball season because they were pregnant. You ever heard of anybody in the NBA sit out because they were pregnant? All these years, you would think if this is what's going on and this is real, you would think you would see somebody in the NBA, somebody have to sit out because they got pregnant. Think about it. This has gone beyond too far. This is absolutely challenging, and we're not going to stop it until young women and women coaches come together and say enough of this is enough. We're not hurting anybody. We're not harming anybody. Biological women play on the biological women side of sports, and the biological men play on the biological men's side of sports. You never heard nobody jump up in the NFL and say, I can't play this year, I'm pregnant, have you? Why is that? Don't you think we should have saw this in the military, on the sports field, somewhere? A man should have got pregnant before? And why we got tampons in the boys' bathrooms? This is too tough for some of you to handle. I haven't cut one person yet today. Not one. I'm not going to. I have a right to believe in the Holy Scriptures. I have a right to believe in real science. And I have a right to voice my opinion. I have not cut one person today. If you're a man and want to be a woman, God bless you. If you're a woman and want to be a man, God bless you. Hope you enjoy your life. Hope you have a great life. Really, I do. But don't tell me I can't have an opinion. And my opinion is based on godly facts and scientific facts. Until women in these sports and high school and colleges stand up and say enough's enough, we're going to end up making this, we're going to be so confused in society. You think we have mental health issues now? You haven't seen anything yet. Folks, don't forget to subscribe to the Moon Griffon podcast. God bless you. Have a great day. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a note. And I do appreciate it. You have an awesome day. We'll see you next time.